Hello, it's Big Chad, and this is the Trading Encyclopedia Daily Education series on my YouTube at Chad's Trading. Find me on Twitter at Big Chads and Bitcoin Live, where I am a founding analyst. For today's lesson, we're going to talk about the volume by price, or the visible range. And let's pull this up here under indicators. And you go to visible range volume profile. That have that under favorites, but you go to technicals and you can scroll down and you find it right there. Visible range volume profile. Now, what's interesting about this, I have another video on something called the point of control. And the point of control basically, first of all, this just shows you in the visible range. It means within the range of candles that you see here, right? So from this candle to this candle, where the volume transpired, and you see this is since, say, late September of 2025. There's a lot of volume in this range, decent amount here, and not as much up here, right? Now, if I scroll back out, it will change, and the visible range of price, there's a lot of volume all over here, but the point of control is here in the middle. The point of control is essentially where the most volume transpired in the middle of the value area. So here's the volume by price. You can pause and read this on your own. Essentially, volume by price is the visible range, is what it's called in TradingView. And then we know the idea of the value area is where the most of the trading volume appeared in a particular range, in a particular price range. So you have the value area and then the point of control right in the middle of it, right? But I have separate videos on those concepts. This is a fun thing to do to get a sense of how important a certain consolidation structure was. So let's take a look here. Let's do a visible range like on Bitcoin. We'll do weekly, and we'll take since it bottomed and started to break out. So this is from October. This is from 2023 on, and we see really right here, we're looking at a huge amount of volume that transpired in this range. Less volume up here in this topping range. So that tells you in this series of 33, 34 weekly candles, that's what we're on the weekly candle, more volume than nearly double the amount of time. So that just shows you how important this price area is. We know volume is a critical factor. We know we see volume at the top and the bottom of a chart. We know that volume is an important consideration for Japanese candlestick signals, how important, that reversal candle is, or even Western TA with something like an outside bar. You want to see volume in the outside bar. So volume is a very important clue. You can use it with really any technical analysis system. Now let's scroll out even more. Okay, now let's look at the price ever since 2019 on. And we can see in this visible range here, there was quite a bit of volume here. Quite a bit of volume, even more than up here, right? We see now we're going all the way back to 2019. There's a lot of accumulation, a lot of people who bought in this range here. It's a very thick range, and it shows you really didn't even, not that many shares or coins rather were even traded in this upper range here. So the visible range volume profile, or the volume by price, it shows you the point of control, the value area. And then, we don't have gaps here in crypto, but if you were to switch over to something that does have gaps, take example like any kind of random chart. We'll take example like the Coinbase chart. We know the Coinbase chart has gaps. We can kind of zoom in a little bit. Let's clean it up. Take a look at the Coinbase chart, and we see there's gaps, and we'll do it like that. And so you'll be able to see where the gaps are. There's not as much volume or really any volume there. Big volume right here in this bottom, and then there's volume up there. And this basically tells you, for example, say the price can break out of this range. This is the next major target area above. It confirms what you see here. Not a lot of volume or shares transpired in this range. So you really have the upper range and the lower range, and almost like a vacuum in between these two ranges. So this is a fun little tool. You can use it in your system. It's called the visible range volume profile, or price by volume, or volume by price. Okay, and this is for the Trading Encyclopedia Daily Education series on my YouTube at Chad's Trading. Find me on Twitter at Big Chad and Bitcoin Live, where I'm a founding analyst. Thank you, folks, and I'll talk to you soon. Big Ched's out.